A major music label should stop copyright striking YouTubers every opportunity it gets, and instead let us use their music. And then we YouTubers all rally and get them tens of billions of impressions on their music for not being to us. Thus.
Yeah, I've got some thoughts. MrBeast is the largest name on YouTube, and he can be our best chance of fixing music copyright claims on this website. MrBeast rose to the challenge during the 2020 lockdown by starting Beast Philanthropy and MrBeast Burger to help those in need. Now, MrBeast, I'm challenging you to help all creators, large and small, by getting into the YouTube music copyright game. Here's the plan. Guys, I want to give a massive thank you to today's sponsor. You know them, you love them, NordVPN. Virtual private networks are all the rage now in the online community. And Nord is so simple to use, you're just one click away from protection, or enable auto-connect for 0 clicks away. With over 5,600 servers in 60 countries, it is easy to find a server that is closest to your location so that you have the best speeds. And yes, NordVPN is the fastest VPN. Want access to streaming content that's not in your country? Connect to a server in a country where it is available. And now Nord is more than just a VPN with their new threat protection for desktop. It'll help you beat malware, trackers, and intrusive ads, even when you're not connected to a VPN at the time. Threat protection will scan what you download to make sure none of those files are infected. It'll even prevent you from accidentally visiting a malicious website. Make sure you're protected online today. Go to nordvpn.com/btnight. Get a 2-year plan with a huge discount and an additional month for free. Again, that is nordvpn.com/btnight. Huge thank you to Nord for sponsoring this video. You know him, you love him, or you don't, but at least you know him. MrBeast has pioneered the genre of very expensive stunts, and he's generally just known for throwing absurd amounts of money around. Whether he's buying his own entire private island, or if he's making a very accurate recreation of Squid Game, the entire internet waits to see what crazy thing he's gonna do next. So seeing him voice his frustration at what many creators and alike consider to be one of the biggest problems on YouTube was very cathartic.
YouTube copyright problem.
YouTube's copyright system has been a point of major contention between the website, its creators, and major music labels for well over a decade now. Whether that's people uploading entire discographies of music that doesn't belong to them without permission, and frustrating labels with this endless stream of illegally uploaded music, or creators having their livelihood slowly squeezed out of them by publishers and labels who abuse the copyright system and want to squeeze every penny out of YouTube they can. There are years of copyright abuse stories on YouTube, more than enough to make several hour-long videos on, or one Mahler video. It seems like every year there's at least one major abuse of the YouTube content ID system that just blows up in our feeds. Sometimes it gets resolved, sometimes it doesn't. In YouTube's defense, they're in an extremely difficult spot here, caught between two groups who both have valid stances, and also both groups harbor people who want to exploit and abuse the system. But the tightest vice clamping down on YouTube at the moment is from Section 512 of the DMCA and Section 230 of Title 47.
What?
Sorry, that is all incredibly boring and we do not need to go any further into it. Just boiling it down very quickly. YouTube is legally responsible for policing the content that gets uploaded to its website. With the immense amount of content that gets uploaded to YouTube every day, that is an impossible task for Google and YouTube employees to do alone. Thus, the Content ID system was born. This system uses bots to automatically claim content belonging to rights holders and gives rights holders the tools to manually claim stuff that the bots miss. While creators regularly complain about how broken the Content ID system is, let's all remember, YouTube would be sued out of existence without Content ID. We wouldn't have MrBeast, PewDiePie, Adam Neely, Rick Beato, Jake or Logan Paul, Dream, James Charles. Wait, on second thought, maybe we should get rid of the Content ID system. As imperfect as Content ID is, I would argue it's better than the alternative, which is the end of platforms that allow users to upload content freely. And again, in YouTube's defense, I know that's not very popular to do. In their defense, Content ID has developed a lot since it was first released in 2007. For instance, now YouTube doesn't allow claims on any content under 6 seconds. So a little meme like this,
what?
Can be used safely.
What does this have to do with MrBeast? I clicked on the thumbnail because MrBeast is in the thumbnail. None of this copyright stuff has anything to do with MrBeast.
We're almost there, I promise. Just stick with me.
A fair use gray area.
Some creators go to great lengths to ensure they fall within the bounds of fair use. Stevie T, Jared Dines, Todd in the Shadows, Rick Beato, me, frankly. When I make a video, I make it a point to myself to use as little of the song as possible while adding as much value as possible. There are some creators who don't add much of anything to the experience other than, whoa, that was cool, and let the entire song play uninterrupted. Not okay. Regardless if you're taking great strides to try and be in fair use as much as possible, or if you're just lazy and want to get clicks on basically no work whatsoever, both types of creators can get their videos claimed by Content ID. But both creators have the opportunity to appeal those copyright claims. These appeals go to the rights holders to determine whether or not the video falls under fair use. This is really unfair. Rights holders who have all of the incentive to reject all of the appeals that come their way are the only ones making the decision. It's a little one-sided, but realistically, YouTube has to stay completely out of the decision. Otherwise, they become legally liable, which means the end of YouTube. The only way YouTube won't be sued is by giving rights holders the final say on fair use in Content ID. It sucks, but that's the way it's gotta be. For now. This is where MrBeast comes in.
Changing the world for good.
YouTube already has the tools to do the following. 1. Identify songs and who owns them. 2. Determine the amount of a song used in a video. 3. Track both the view count of a video and how much of each part of the video was viewed. See down here? YouTube shows you how much of each part of a video has been watched. Even marks the part that was most replayed. YouTube can also, 4, track the amount of money a video made. 5, integrate third-party software into YouTube Studio. When I was with my MCN, we used Viso Catalyst. It integrated seamlessly with YouTube Studio and was meant to optimize our videos for performance. We can debate that claim another time, but the fact is, there is software from a third party that can work with YouTube Studio. With these 5 tools in mind, MrBeast, I am challenging you to fix the copyright problem on YouTube. You've been very generous with your money, giving large sums of cash away to complete strangers. You started Beast Philanthropy to feed underserved communities in food deserts. And you started MrBeast Burger to help employ more people during the pandemic. Now I'm challenging you to create a company that acts as a mediator between creators and music publishers, and fixing the copyright system once and for all.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Now this gets a little complicated. I've tried to simplify it as much as possible, but trying to solve a problem as nuanced as copyright claims on YouTube is very difficult. So please stick with me for a second. Let's pretend there was a company that had access to Content ID on YouTube on behalf of music labels and publishers. Let's call it Beast Music. Beast Music would allow creators in the YouTube Partner Program to create an account on their website, with proper verification, of course. Their Beast Music account would have a bank or a wallet that they could transfer money to, similarly to a spending account. But this spending account can only be used to pay rights holders of the music YouTubers use in their videos. If you have a Beast Music account and you have a positive balance, your channel is whitelisted from copyright claims on YouTube. Well, at least whitelisted from the publishers in the Beast Music catalog. But how would YouTube's Content ID system know to whitelist your channel? by installing the Beast Music extension in your browser. The Beast Music browser extension will act as a messenger between YouTube and the Beast Music website. It will let YouTube know if a creator can be whitelisted from Content ID, which means no more claims on your videos. But this software will also let Beast Music, the website, know all of that same Content ID information that would normally go into a copyright claim. So that would be identifying a song and who owns it, determining the amount of a song used in a video, track both the view count of a video and how much of each part of the video was viewed, tracking the amount of money that a video made.
Do any of these sound familiar?
Based upon a negotiated payment rate, a formula using all of the metrics I just talked about will determine how much money to deduct from the Beast Music spending account of that creator. Creators won't risk losing all of the revenue on a video that they spent countless hours trying to make and only used a small snippet or maybe 2 minutes of a song, and rights holders still get paid. How does Beast Music determine what's actually fair use and if someone's just uploading a complete copy of a song? Make a percentage of use threshold. Let's pretend, for example, if 75% or more of a song is used, it is not eligible for revenue share. What happens if a creator's spending account goes into the negative? They will no longer be whitelisted. The only way they can be whitelisted from Content ID is by paying off the balance.
My brain hurts!
Without getting too much further into the weeds, this is the basic idea. There are definitely other aspects to account for, but this explanation has already gotten so complicated and heavy for one quick YouTube video. So the next question is,
How do we start?
while MrBeast seems like a very charitable guy, running an operation like this is going to require revenue. So where does the revenue for Beast Music come from? Taking a percentage of the royalty payments to rights holders. Now, I know negotiating this is going to be extremely difficult, but with the amount of volume that's going to be coming through your website, it'll pay for itself. Especially since this business should be pretty close to set it and forget it. I mean, you'll need to update the software as YouTube evolves. You're going to need some customer service people. You're going to need to keep your catalog up to date. You'll need some text to manage your website, make sure it works very well. But other than that, this is passive income. You will need a lot of money for startup capital, but for some reason, I don't see that being much of a problem for you. You'll need to meet with music label and publishing executives. With the contacts that you have, I don't see that being very hard either. And you're going to need a killer pitch. How is this business going to result in more revenue for music publishers and music labels? Now, I haven't done all the math myself, but I have an idea that on the surface appears to guarantee more revenue, especially seeing the numbers on the copyright transparency document that YouTube released yesterday. This is looking pretty positive. Let the Beast Music extension allow creators to claim their own videos when they upload it. When a creator partnered with Beast Music uploads a video, give them the option to time code where they used music by themselves. In exchange for reporting their own videos, they get a discount on the royalties they would normally have to pay. And if Content ID finds that they missed anything, the discount goes away. Let's be honest, Content ID is not perfect, even for rights holders. When I upload a video that has third-party content in it, it is a crapshoot whether or not that video will be claimed. As a creator, I'd rather have a guarantee that I'm going to make money on this video. So I would be happy to self-report for that guarantee and lose a little bit of money off the top. By creators reporting their own usage, this is going to give you a revenue stream from videos that get missed by the Content ID system. Better still, you would be opening an entire market of YouTubers who avoid using third-party content. Knowing they are able to monetize that video, they may consider using real clips of the recording of the song that they're talking about or analyzing. That's an additional revenue stream to rights holders they wouldn't have had before. Or how about creators who really want to use that new pop single as a backing track for a segment of one of their videos? They would never think of using it before because that music that would spice up maybe 30 seconds of a segment of a video loses the revenue of that entire video for the creator. Now with Beast Music, they can use that dope new single. I hate that I said that. Now with Beast Music, they can use that new single that's gonna complete their video and make it more relevant than before, and they're not gonna lose all of the revenue on their video.
But I'm not done yet.
Or how about creators who appeal their copyright claims and win? According to YouTube, creators win about 62% of the appeals that they file. That's missed potential revenue for rights holders. I would be willing to trade a small portion of my revenue to never have to deal with the appeals process ever again. And rights holders now get a small cut of a video they would lose to fair use. This will also lower the burden on the publishers of all of the copyright claims and appeals they have to sift through. I'm thinking probably millions. By having less of a load to deal with, it'll make them more effective at catching the real culprits. Who knows? They may even be able to reduce the staff necessary to handle all of these claims, thus reducing their overhead. There is a real path here towards more profit for rights holders and more reliable revenue for creators.
Conclusion.
I know this plan isn't perfect, it still needs some work, but I think this is the foundation for a real solution to the copyright problem on YouTube. And this is just for music. You could do this for movies and TV shows and make that revenue stream even larger.
It was such a great idea. Why don't you do it?
I do not have the time or money to dedicate to this project. It would take multiple minds working extremely hard on it, and it's just not one of my personal goals. And MrBeast is the face of YouTube. This idea would get so much more traction with him leading the charge. And if you want to beat MrBeast to the punch, by all means, go for it. I don't need credit for this idea. I would much rather see this solution come to fruition and fix this massive problem than see a cent of revenue from it. The solution would be the reward for me itself. So what do you guys think? Could this work? Let me know in the comments below. If you missed it, my band Crusade just released our new single Betrayal last week. Links to that will be in the description below. You can support me on Subscribestar. Link to that is also in the description. And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Become the Night. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Rock on.